Well, so far we've shown you what it's like to be a temporary resident of Girona, kind of life from the inside. But today I want to show you some of the things you would see as a tourist. The first thing you'd see is the heartbeat of Girona, this fabulous cathedral, the Cathedral of St. Mary, and it is so big you can see it for miles and miles around. It's one of the things that caught our eye about the town in the first place. First of all, 90 steps that make it look even bigger than it is. At the top, the second widest nave in the world, right after St. Peter's of Rome. And what's fascinating about this spot, it has been a spiritual destination for many, many thousands of years. In the 300s, for example, it had a Christian church, an early Christian temple. And in the 700s, it was a mosque because Spanish was under the rule of the Moors. And then Charlemagne came in and made it back into a church. The current structure, the oldest parts, date back to only the 1400s. The facade is a little bit newer, but there is something so magical about a space that's been used as a place of worship for so many years. One of the great things to see in Girona are the houses of the river Onyar. Houses back right up to the river. People live in them, nothing fancy, but a very impressive group. And of the 11 bridges, this is our favorite. It's the Eiffel Bridge. It was built in 1876 by Gustave Eiffel and Company. That was before he built the Eiffel Tower. But as you can see, he's practicing. I'm coming down one of the magnificent stairways in El Call, which is the Jewish quarter. And back in the 700s, should be a good example to us, the Christians, the Jews, and the Moors all got along terribly well here. Of course, we're right next door to the cathedral, so that tells you something. Later on, of course, as the Inquisition was warming up, the Jews were eventually sequestered into this corner, which actually happens to be very beautiful. And in 1492, just as Columbus was setting sail, they were thrown out of town. However, it has been the seat of some serious Judaic mysteries and Kabbalah, and other great rabbis have worked here and based themselves in Girona. There's a great museum here if you want to visit it and learn more about that. It's fascinating. Well, here we are at La Rambla. Actually, we're at our favorite bar, McKiernan's, which is an Irish bar, and where you can usually find some Brits hanging around watching a soccer game on TV, and you can get Irish beer. La Rambla is a fascinating spot because it is where people walk. Rambla, as a word, means where the river used to flow through the city, and just about every Spanish town has one. This is not nearly as big as Barcelona's, but it's equally fascinating. And mainly you can get beer and hamburgers and ice cream and ice cream and ice cream and more ice cream. Here we are in Girona's backyard, Parc de la Devesa, which was planted in 1850. I say planted because it's a former swamp at the junction of the rivers Onyar, Ter, and Güell. And it was planted with 2,600 trees, and they are all the same kind. They're a hybrid of American sycamore and a Turkish version, an oriental version of that. Their bark is really interesting. It looks like camouflage. They were planted really close together, which means they have to grow very tall in order to reach the sun. And some of these are 200 feet high. The park has been used for a lot of things over the years, since 1850, discos, stadiums, all kinds of things that have been built and torn down. And now basically it has these 9 acres of shaded walkways. It has a beautiful flower garden and just places to run around and walk, and of course, a soccer stadium. Recently, at the other end of the park, the city built a convention center, and that has been drawing people in to the city. There are a lot of carnivals and festivals over here in part of the park, and of course our favorite part is every Saturday and Tuesday morning, the market, which has both fruits and vegetables and sausages and chicken, and also clothing and gadgets and tools and all kinds of things. We've written about that before. Look back in the blog. Here we are in the Plaza Independencia at our table, the Café Royale. We come here almost every day. This was the place that captivated my imagination when we first visited Girona. It's kind of the living room for the town. It's on the side of the river, the new city side of it, but it creates a kind of a bridge between the old city and the new city. It's 18th century. The buildings surrounding the plaza are all in tones of yellow and ochre. They all kind of match. They have beautiful balconies. And in the middle, you will see right now there's a stage being built. We see concerts here. We see children running around. We see families of many generations just having a great time. And it is actually, I wonder why, why does this stand out? It turns out it is the tallest plaza of its kind, four-walled plaza with arcades in Catalonia. So the little extra facades on top make it a much more impressive plaza than a lot of the others. And I just love it here. We can't stay away. Those are some of the places we love about Girona, and when you come here, you'll find a lot more of your own. Mostly there's just a lot of great walking to do and endless beautiful sights around every corner. You can't wait to come back.